Hello everybody, McGee Wolf with the Wolf Group. Back again with another important video to help you make great decisions in home ownership. Now this video is definitely for you or one of your clients that may be considering forbearance or deferment, considering the COVID crisis that we're in right now. These are confusing and often misunderstood terms, so let's get to it. Okay, so today is March 31st, 2020. All of us have been deeply affected one way or another by the COVID pandemic. It is a serious issue. It's affecting us health-wise, obviously, and financially in many cases too. It's having a heavy toll on our economy and all the overall health of our communities. So one of the options that has been put in place for many of you that have Fannie or Freddie backed loans is something called forbearance or something called deferment. And there are two different things that are very similar, and I'd like to clarify what those are for you right now. Now, the CARES Act has come out, and if you read it, it is offering anyone that has a Fannie or Freddie loan a opportunity to enter into what is called forbearance. And what that actually is defined as is where you take a certain amount of months where you don't have to make your mortgage payment. And then at the end of that period of time, all of those payments are due. So for example, in April, May, and June, if you enter into a forbearance agreement and your monthly payment is $1,000 a month, that would mean you wouldn't have to make the payment for April, May, or June, so $3,000. But on July 1st, all three of those payments are due, plus July's payment. So a lot of people don't understand that, and you really need to understand that's how all the forbearance agreements are written, generally speaking. Now, I believe that it's likely that your servicer, that's who you write your checks to every month, would enter into an agreement to probably allow you to become current on all of those payments that you hadn't made over a lengthy period of time. But that's where you need to protect yourself. You need to read the fine print. Make sure you understand the terms under which you're going to have to repay that loan and those loan payments for the months that you didn't have to make a payment. Now, the time frame of the forbearance is going to vary by servicer, and your ability to communicate your situation to them, it may go out as far as a year. No one knows. But that's going to be something you're going to have to work out with your servicer. So again, make sure you protect yourself and read the fine print of anything that you sign, and have thorough conversations with them over the phone on when they expect to have this money repaid. Now, the other option is not part of the CARES Act yet. Well, it's not part of the CARES Act, but Fannie and Freddie just announced that they're considering a deferment, which is very similar to a forbearance. What a deferment is let's use the same 3 months, April, May, and June, that they would agree that you don't need to make your mortgage payment to them. But instead of making it all due in the month of July, what they would do is put it on the end of your loan. So if you have a 30-year mortgage and you're 5 years in, you got 25 years left, well, it would be 25 years plus those 3 months at the very end. And you would repay it when you can, but before 25 years goes by, or you have a balloon that's due at the end of the 25 years for those 3 payments, or if you sell the house or you refinance the house, it's paid at that time. So that, in my opinion, is a much more attractive option for you to consider compared to a forbearance. All right, now there's another very important element that you need to take into consideration before you make your final decision, and that is, how is this going to affect your credit report? Now, you may have great credit right now, but if you do this, there may be some negative impacts to your credit report. So remember, the investors or servicers are required to report every month how you make your payment. Well, they may not be actually required, but they do. So in that case, what are they going to report? And if you haven't made the payment, are they going to say that you did make the payment? That's a little in the gray area as far as I'm concerned, and I really encourage you to have that conversation with your servicer before you make your decision one way or the other. And whatever they say, in all instances, make sure it is in writing before you pull the trigger on that. It's very important. Now, one thing that you need to keep in mind when you go through this as well is that imagine that you're a servicer that's in this situation, and these servicers have hundreds of thousands of loans as a book of business. And let's say 50% of those loans decide to take advantage of either forbearance or deferment. That means that they won't have the monthly payments coming in on half of their book of business for the allotted months under which those payments are put off into the future. Now, if this was your business, you would think that that would be a pretty significant hardship. So they're going to need governmental assistance to offset that cash flow that they otherwise wouldn't receive. But make sure that you understand this. The banks will be paid. At the end of the day, they will get their money. So especially in the area of forbearance, if the money is going to be due immediately in full at the end of the forbearance period, you may be in a situation where you cannot repay it under the terms that you originally agreed to on paper. And if that becomes the case, then you are facing the risk of the really bad F word, which is foreclosure. And if you've got a lot of equity in your home, this could be a real problem for you. Remember back in 2008, when we had the financial crisis and there wasn't a lot of equity in many people's homes, the banks were taking homes left and right to try to cover their losses as best as they can. You definitely don't want to fall into a position where you can't handle it with your servicer at this time. So everybody here at the Wolf Group, and also from my family to yours, we hope you're doing okay, that everything is fine for you health-wise as number one, but number two, financially, that you're not suffering as a result of this either. So you take care. I'll be back soon, and always remember, have a great day.